I don't think we actually started doing yoga together till March, but
Okay, you're
I
right.
had I decided to make this year a year of yoga and not be sarcastic about it and not roll my eyes when my teacher told me to do something, and to actually do it. And it's kind of started there, and now here we are, and it's made a huge difference. It's just crazy. You do your mindset trainings and oh, okay, but my mindset has changed so much in the past year, or like a few months even, that I and it's still evolving. So but uh, I couldn't function, I couldn't hold a thought in my head for 2 seconds. It was just one thing after the other, and I was just in this crazy tailspin of life. And it sucked, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And I kept, just tell me, I don't want to live like this. If you can just tell me how to get out of this. This is awful. I'll do anything. And so I did. And now, oh my gosh, I meditate for sometimes close to 2 hours. I won't say I'm quite to 2 hours yet, but I couldn't do it for 5 minutes. But now it just depends on my day. But sometimes I can do it for a really long time. And I don't think I even really realized what meditation was before. I thought I did, but until I went to I had my crazy trippy yoga, like meditation that I had to tell you about because it freaked me out.
Yeah.
um, that started happening, and then it started happening more and more. And so now I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. And I can't go a day without doing at least part of what you've taught me to do this year. Uh, um, and I don't have the same, I mean, I have those negative thoughts for sure, but I don't have to participate in them, sort of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and
So,
you know what I love, Cherie, is when we first met, it was like, feel your feelings. Tell me how you feel. And it was like you would laugh, you would hide, you would ignore me. It was like totally not there. And like the longer that we worked together, the more it was like you felt comfortable in feeling those feelings and sitting with those feelings. At first, it was so intense that you're like, I'm not going to sit through this. And I remember like when me and Cherie first started meeting, she had this like lump in the throat. And I was like, it's time to start singing. It's time to start voicing how you feel. And now Cherie's at this place where people are like, hey, Cherie, what happened to you this year? And like, how do I get what you've done? And you've become this like leader, this role model in your community because of the work that you've done. And I'm curious as to rewind, like, yeah, we met in January. We started working together in March. In January, did you think any of this was possible?
no, not really.
And to be clear, she signed up to work with me in March, but she didn't start working with me until May. It took her a long time to actually get into the material. There was like this pause, like she wanted it. She was going for it, and then there was this resistance. Can you share like where that resistance came from? Because I know there's several other women within this group now that they want it, but they don't want it, and there's kind of this like teeter totter where they're on the edge. And I'm curious if you could share some of your insight or wisdom that you've gathered for starting.
Um, Here I go, because I don't know what to say. um, so yeah, I mean, it was really intense. I had a lot of intense feelings already with what has transpired in my ex life, I like to call it now. Um, I had a lot of loss and just lots of emotions, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Feel these feelings. I've been feeling these feelings for it like 5 years. I don't want to feel this anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I have been feeling these feelings. So what do you mean? And it took a little bit to kind of figure that out, I think. Like, oh, wait, what does she mean by feel? Oh, okay, that's what she means by actually feel these feelings and not just sort of survive these feelings and then like pretend I don't have them and try to stay busy and to do something else. So it took a little bit, it took a little while to settle in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's new, and I love what you said. It's like we're not trying to change our feelings or push our feelings, but actually allow permission to be a human and feel those feelings. Because yoga isn't about always being this enlightened person who's happy all the time, but it's having the tools and the techniques to move through those darker days where it's like, you know what, I woke up today and I feel like shit. But instead of sitting in my poopy party, I'm going to go move my body. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to journal. I'm going to use my tools to get into a state that I want to be in rather than being a victim. Like, I just woke up like this. Now, what am I going to do? It's like, no, you can choose to change how you feel using the practice and the tools of yoga, which you continuously demonstrate again and again as we ride the waves.
Right. I mean, that's what's kind of going on for me today. I kind of woke up in some kind of funk.
Mm.
Wasn't sure what it was. I listened to your training while I was getting ready this morning and then did some yoga and it still wasn't enough. So it's 18 degrees when I left. I bundled my crazy little self up and went for a walk and just kind of got moving, got breathing some more. And by the time I was back from my walk, my face was frozen and it was grumpy, but it definitely helps.
And have you ever invested this much time, money, resources, energy into any other self-care or personal development in your life before?
No, definitely not.
And what made you decide to do it now this time?
Hmm. I needed a big change.
Mm,
Really did.
yeah.
I definitely wasn't the same person, and I keep hearing it over and over and over again. And like you said, people now, it's the whole law of attraction thing that now people are asking me for advice. Like, what? Don't
Mm-hmm.
ask me. I don't know,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I can try to help. So that's,
Yeah.
or I just ask you.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Like, you're a living, breathing example of being a leader and taking that initiative. And, now that you've invested in yourself, other people are wanting to invest in you and learn the tools that you've acquired because they've seen you in those darker times. It's kind of what I've been doing now, is like sharing a little bit of my past addictions, 12 years of smoking cigarettes every day and 14 years of hitting the bong all day long. And then it goes into other things that we'll dive into throughout the rest of this year. But creating healthy habits is something you've done. And before this Live Your Yoga mentorship, did you have daily self-care rituals or self-care practices that you did every single day?
Not that I did every single day. I mean, I tried to. My therapist is like, you need to do this breathing. I'm just eaten up with anxiety, and yeah, I would do it when I felt bad, and I would kind of half do it.
Mm.
Now I'm like, I attempted it. Maybe I thought I was doing it then, but definitely not something I did every day. But what I did do every day was have panic attacks every single morning.
Mm.
And I would have panic attacks. Once they started, it would be 3 or 4 times a day. So then my doctor wanted to give me all this medication, and then I was zoned out, and it still didn't help. I still didn't sleep. I was still anxious. And I mean, totally forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, well, actually, Cherie one day sends me a Facebook message. And is like, hey, I forgot to tell you, when we started working together, I quit taking my medication and I haven't taken medication in 4 months. I actually no longer need it. And I was like, thanks for letting me know now. I'm glad it worked. So what's amazing is that through consistency, my philosophy is like, this isn't instant gratification. If you want a pill, if you want something that's going to be a quick fix overnight, then this program is not for you. But if you want a disciplined lifestyle change, this is not another diet, not another fad. You don't return back to some other life. This is a lifestyle change. This is long term. And the only way that you're going to maintain that shift that you discover within the training, the course, is if you maintain the practices that you're given. These tools are lifelong, and you can call upon them at any given time, which is what Cherie is saying now, is she practices these exercises when her panic attacks arrive, but they don't arrive as frequently and even almost non-existent, but they still come back. And that's because she's still human. You don't just erase your humanness and those things that are deep at the root of your core belief, your system, your subconscious, but you have the tools to call upon when those old beliefs, patterns, rituals rise into your like present moment life. You'll be seeing a lot more of Cherie. She is, I'll say this about everyone, my all-time favorite student. Don't worry, the rest are my favorite as well. But you'll be seeing more of her, and she is like a prime example of what this training can do for you if you show up and you do the work. So if you're on the edge, you're wondering like, what's it like to be in the Live Your Yoga mentorship? You can always reach out to Cherie if you have any doubts, or chime in with me and we can dive into a discovery call to see if this is a good fit for you and if it did make sense for you to join into the program. So have a beautiful day. Thank you, Cherie, for your time, and we'll see you soon.